Well, hello once again, my fellow Star Trek fans, in particular, Star Trek The Next Generation. It's my pleasure to welcome you to another video of the Eaglemoss Build the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D. Now, it's been a while since my last shipment. Let's see, the last time I did a video for you guys was December 10th. So it's been nearly 3 months, but I'm happy to announce that I got shipment, I think it's shipment 14 or 15. I'll put it in the title, but I just want to do a little correction. I did do a video on the stand, and I wasn't sure if that was an error that they sent me the basic stand, because I ordered the deluxe. I contacted customer support, and they assured me that everybody gets the basic stand, whether they order the custom stand or not. So rest assured, we will be getting the deluxe stands. So without further ado, my friends, I'd like to take the box over to the desk, and let's check out what we got in this latest shipment. All right, let's get this beautiful box open and see what we got inside. Show you guys what's in this shipment. Magazine. And I just want to show you guys, they do charge you for the stand. And the reason they charged us for the stand is because we ordered the upgraded one. All right, let's see what we got in here. First thing we got is pack number 54. Yeah, I'll give you a quick preview. We're going to go through all the packs, but I just want to show you guys what's in them. A little quick peek first. Let's see what's next. We've got number 51. You can see another section of the primary hull. We're getting awful close, and look, we can see the frame for the nacelle. Beautiful. Let's see now what else we got. Oh, this is awesome. Look at this, guys. It looks like we get to finish off the top of the primary hull. This is going to be fun. And you can see the Facade Collector pieces. And more escape pods and windows, but I love that. And it feels like metal. And what else we got? We got pack number 52. And you can see some screws, a backing, some windows. And it looks like the top or the bottom of the nacelle. The Facade Collector. And we have another piece of the primary hull. I think that's it for the parts packs. And then we have the magazine. And is that everything in the box? Yep. And this is issue number 14. Got a picture of the beautiful model. Nice. We got the in this issue. Ship parts, assembly instructions, the episode guide. I love the episode guides. We learn so much, and I love Lal. How could you not love her? She's so cute. And how could your heart not break when Mr. Data lost Lal? Okay, let's go to the parts list. We've got stage 51 parts. We've got the primary hull piece, the escape pods, looks like windows, and we've got the frame for the nacelle. You can see the Facade Collector is going to go there, and the back is going to go there, and we have a light. Looks like could be a connector wire or a light, and we got the parts number. Stage 52. You can see we have the piece of hull, and I think that's the backing. We've got the lights to go with it, and we've got the Facade Collector top and the little wrap that goes around just behind the Facade Collectors. Stage 53, we've got that big beautiful piece that's going to go on the back of the saucer section, and you can see where the battle section or the pylon, the saucer pylon, is going to go. And we got a couple of backings for that. And we have more Facade Collector pieces with some screws, and we got another long wire. Over to stage 54, you can see we have more escape pods, and it looks like there are more pieces that are going to go behind to help lighting the windows. We got some escape pods, screws, and other pieces. On to stage 51. We're on to the assembly already. New deck assembly combines the two previous builds from a former substantial deck panel cluster fitted to the rear of your upper saucer structure. It's going to be really fun. You can see we're putting in windows, and all the windows on this section are going to be dark, or the room lights are going to be off, and we have the escape pods. You can see where it's going to go. Saucer section port impulse engine housing. You can see the little indentation for the impulse engine. Over to step B. Check the lights in your new assembly by plugging them in a PCB board along with the batteries shown. And that's always a fun part. Over to part C, we're going to run them into the frame. You can see how we're going to pass the wires through, and we're going to insert them into the PCB board. So we're used to that. We've been doing that for a long time. To stage 52, and you can see we've got the warp nacelle port side, transporter beam emitter pad. You can see step A, just like we did with the other nacelle. I'm going to begin by putting the Facade Collector field projector housing into the nacelle. See, we have the BM screws holding it into position, the frame. Part B, we got to stick down the adhesive transporter emitter pad onto the plating. And we're going to add some windows. We're going to put the backing on, and then we're going to test it. And then what's always a nice touch or fun part is we get to expand the saucer. Well, cover it more with deck plates. Step C, we put it in, we feed the wires through, and we connect it to the board. Remember, we had recently put a new board in too, in addition to the first one. So stage 53 assembly, you can see how we're going to put the Facade Collector together, all the pieces, how they go together to form the Facade Collector. And you can see the wire that goes into the Facade Collector. This is different. We didn't do that in the last one. And this is going to go, you can see that big beautiful piece of the aft end of the primary hull just behind the shuttle bay. I think that's shuttle bay 1 up there. You can see the nacelle, the port side Facade Collector that we're going to work on. Place the Facade Collector assembly on the nacelle front. Nice. Okay, on to step B. Look at that. We've got escape pods, we have windows. Looks like we're not putting all the windows in just yet. We're going to put the backing on, the reflective panel, and we're going to test it. And then moving on to the next step, you can see we're going to put in more. The room lights are going to be off with the escape pods, and we're going to secure the back panel in place. Okay, on to stage 54. Complete and fit the Mammoth deck panel. You began in the previous stage by combining your upper and lower warp engine nacelle builds. Step A. So we're still working on that piece, only now we're doing the left side. Lots of escape pods. Reflector panel, you can see where we're going to be working. Step B, we're still working on that side, on that section. Repeat the beginning of step A. You can see we're going to, looks like the sticker or a piece of tape they give you to hold them in place. And we're going to put the backing on. And we're going to secure some with DM screws and one AM screw. Moving over to section C, we're going to test it. Love that part, that's fun. And it shows you the different sections that should be lighting up. All right, let's put the panel into the primary hull onto the frame. Look at that. Love it. Retrieve the main saucer build and thread the cables from deck panel U301 between the saucer skeleton and the previously fitted deck panels as shown. And we're going to secure it in place with FM screws. And you can see how the opening is going to be for the, actually that was way back at the first video. We had done the bridge area. Step E, take your nacelle upper assembly and lift the Facade Collector 02A out of the nacelle front. Then slot the Facade Collector reflector cover into place as shown. Be interesting to see the differences. Now retrieve your nacelle lower assembly from stage 52. Thread the unused nacelle strip light bulb. Okay, so this is the same nacelle that we're going to be doing. Hopefully we finish it off and close it out. You can see the CP screws that are going to hold everything in place. And that's it for the build. Next we move on to my favorite part, the episode guides. And this is one of my favorite episodes. Absolutely love yesterday's Enterprise. The Enterprise finds a spatial anomaly, and they go to investigate, and all of a sudden they turn from the brightly lit bridge that we know of the Enterprise D. All of a sudden it gets dark, the characters are all wearing weapons, and the atmosphere totally changes. What ends up happening is they have a ship appear out of the anomaly, and they come to find out it's the Enterprise C. This is episode 3.15. It premiered February 19th of 1990. The guest stars are Denise Crosby, Natasha Yar, Christopher McDowell, Richard Castillo, Tricia O'Neill, Rachel Garrett. The synopsis: history has changed when the Enterprise C travels into the future where it should not exist. And you can see the captain, Captain Garrett of the Enterprise C. Tricia O'Neill, Captain Garrett, went on to play a Klingon in Season 6's Suspicion and a Cardassian in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I thought she looked kind of familiar. I've always known the risk that comes with a Starfleet uniform. Tasha Yar to Captain Picard. You remember she had gone to the captain and she wanted to go with the Enterprise C because her life or her death was meaningless. You remember the creature on the away team, that kind of ink creature, had killed her. Christopher McDonald, Richard Castillo in a 23rd century Starfleet uniform with Denise Crosby, Tasha Yar. In a 24th century alternative reality variant, the red movie-style uniforms were later seen in 5 more Star Trek The Next Generation episodes. Nice. That's an awesome episode. Oh, I love this stuff. Okay, for Seeing the Sea. So, Rick Sternbach's design for the Enterprise C was inspired by a painting of the first season. You can see the ship. This is not a ship of war. This is a ship of peace. Guinan trying to explain to Captain Picard that the Enterprise should have children and families aboard, and it wasn't just specifically built for war. The war with the Klingon Empire. 2 of Rick Sternbach's concepts for the Enterprise C from November of 1989 made prior to the blueprint stage. I love the sea. I love the colors, the color scheme, the blue. I wish we'd see more of the sea. I'm going to be doing a history on the sea. I got a couple of model kits to show you guys as well, so that's going to be really fun. And what do we got here? The glare from the low-down light source illuminates Denise Crosby on the redesigned bridge set. Note the limited overhead lighting and the new look aft sections behind Crosby and director David Carson. Sarek on the edge of forever. Of course, Sarek is Mr. Spock's father, and he's also the ambassador. Eric A. Stilwell and Trent Christopher Ganino on set with Whoopi Goldberg. When Goldberg quizzed him about some of her dialogue, Ganino explained that he had no involvement in the final teleplay. And this is Mr. Spock's father. Well, this is what he played in Journey to Babel. This is Leonard. Mark Leonard, excuse me. And you can see this is Sarek. The father of all Vulcans. Surak. And that was in the episode where it was good against evil, where Captain Kirk, that's where they met Abraham Lincoln, and they had to go up against the forces of evil, Colonel Green and his party. And this is one of my favorite episodes. You got the Guardian of Forever right there. And that's when Dr. McCoy had accidentally injected himself, making him crazy. He ended up going through the time portal and altering time. And Rick Sternbach's pen and ink drawings were used as a basis of the illuminated displays on the Enterprise C bridge. Who is to say that this history is any less proper than any other? Jean-Luc Picard. Again, this is one of my favorite episodes. I love this episode. Mr. Data, he actually builds a life form, and it's his child, and he names the child Lal, and it's just the Lal actually chooses her gender, decides to be female, and it's just heartwarming to see how Data goes through and he tries to teach her right from wrong and the rules of society and fitting in. I love this episode. Is great. You guys have, if you've never seen this episode, you have to check it out. This is episode 3.16, Premiered March 12th, 1990. The guest stars are Haley Todd as Lal, Nicholas Coster. When Data creates a new android life, Starfleet tries to curb his rights as a parent. Meanwhile, his daughter's abilities develop to include emotional response. And it's sad because at the end she gets overwhelmed and she ends up not making it. It's just, I don't want to give the ending away if you've never seen it, but it's really heartwarming. I love this episode. For somebody with no feelings, Mr. Data, he really evokes feelings from many, many people, just like Mr. Spock did. You can see this photograph. The Andorians are seen only twice in Star Trek The Next Generation. In both The Offspring and Captain's Holiday, they are played uncredited by Christina L. Kochoff. You remember they only showed what they looked like in case Lal wanted to take that identity. You remember, what are your intentions towards my daughter? Data to Commander Riker. It's when Lal had pulled him across the bar and gave him a kiss, exploring her feelings. Mr. Data asking Commander Riker, that was pretty amusing. This is what Lal originally looked like when Data created her. You can see the front. Test shots of Doug Drexier of Leonard Crowfoot in a kind of foam latex diaper. You can see the back part. So he was locked in latex. I must say, Lal, ultimately her appearance was much more appealing. And this one is a great episode as well. Sins of the Father. I love the Klingon episodes. Really, the only times I really like Star Trek Deep Space Nine is when they have the Klingons. I think that show got better when Mr. Worf went there. You can see Mr. Worf right now in the council chambers. This is episode 3.17 and premiered March 19th of 1990. And when his late father is framed as a traitor, Worf agrees to go along with the lie, accepting dishonor from his people in exchange for an enemy and of his long-lost brother. Because he doesn't want to get his brother killed. Tony Todd would play Kern 3 more times in Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Deep Space Nine, as well as playing the older Jake Sisko in Deep Space Nine, and Hirogen in Star Trek Voyager. You can see the Klingon dagger. Senior illustrator Rick Sternbach's design for the knife used by one of Duras's assassins. That's really cool. I remember the Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, we first saw the Klingon dagger. When the Klingon warrior pushed the button and the 2 blades came out on either side. Ultimately, though, that was the knife that killed Admiral Kirk's son. Let's see, look at that. The drawing is awesome. As director, Richard D. James' concept for the throne end of Klingon Great Hall, the resulting 3-walled set was redressed to represent both ends of the same large room on camera, making it seem doubly spacious. It's a nice little effect. We can see the Klingon chambers, the council, the blueprint. I'll read you the description. The studio floor plan for the Klingon Great Hall set, as drawn up by set designer Gary Speckman. The Klingon emblem on the floor is specified as being 12 feet, 3.6 meters across, and more than 15 feet, 4.6 meters long. And on this side, left front and side elevators plus overhead plan for the judge's seat in the Klingon Great Hall drawn up by set designer Joseph Hodges. And you can see the picture in the chamber. Charles Cooper is a Chancellor Kumpek on the completed throne. Cooper had recently played another high-ranking Klingon, General Cord, in Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. Thought he looked familiar. In his appearance, he wore largely the same metal emblazoned costume. Yeah, he looks a lot. He looks like the perfect Klingon, too, the older Klingon. A section of Sid Dutton's matte painting showing the Great Hall and the other buildings in the Klingon First City. That's so cool. You guys are wondering what it looked like on Kronos? The Chadich will be silent. Worf to Captain Picard. This episode is Allegiance. This was an interesting episode. You had a lot of the people that come together. I don't want to use the, what am I trying to say? It's kind of like, I don't want to use the analogy of Saw, but you know when everybody wakes up at the beginning of the films and they're strangers to each other? It's kind of like reminding me of this. This one is called Allegiance. This is episode 3.18, premiered March 26th of 1990. In prison with three strangers, Picard must work out who to trust, while an alien duplicate of the captain takes charge of the Enterprise. You can see costume designer Robert Blackman's concept for the Starfleet cadet uniform, complete with utility pockets. Blackman's design for the cauliflower heads, who were a joint effort by costume and makeup teams. And that is this shipment's magazine. Shipment number 14. We're going to look at 51 first. All right, what do we got? Looks like we've got lots of goodies in this bag. All right, let's start with the frame for the nacelle. And this is the port side nacelle, excuse me. And this is for the top. You can see the Facade Collector goes there, and the back is clear. And we got the little area where the light's going to go in. Nice. And that comes with a bag of CP screws. All right, what do we got next? We have another section of the primary hull, and this is metal. Look at that beautiful Aztecing. Nice. And what comes with that is we have another light. This is a single light. And I think this is the one that's going to go into the Facade Collector, but we'll see. And this comes with DM screws. And on the top part, we've come to know these very well. We've got the escape pods, and we've got the room lights that are turned off. And a tree of windows. And that's everything that's in packet number 51. I'll show you the back. All right, now we got packet 52. Let's open this one up. what do we got here? All right, first thing in this packet is DM screws. And you can see we've got a section of the hull. I'll show you guys that beautiful Aztecing. And again, the transporter array pad is going to go right there. And I think that's what I saw in the other compartment. And this is metal. And we've also got the Facade Collector, the top. Again, show you that wonderful Aztecing. And this one is also metal. And let's see, we've got windows. We got half a tree of the room lights that are going to be on and a full tree of the room lights that are going to be off. And we have a light. Got the alligator clip. And we got two lights at the end. And that's probably going to be used to power the lights that are going to go here. You can see the reflective panel. Here it is. I was telling you guys about the transporter array. And that's going to go just like that. And let's see, what do we got up there? We got a packet of BM screws. And we got that section that goes just behind the Facade Collector. You guys remember the real early shipments we got, they were yellow. And they actually ended up changing the colors. They gave us new ones. And it looks like that's everything in packet number 52. And that brings us to this packet, number 53. And there's a lot of glorious stuff in this packet. Let's dive right into this one. Oh, let's just start with this. Look at that. This is absolutely gorgeous. Now this is the reason why I'm glad that I got this model. Oh, this is, and it's metal, and this is going to look wonderful. You can see in the picture, this is going to be that whole section right there. Enterprise. And this is where the secondary hull, actually, let me, just like that. Look at that, separate saucer section. All right, enough playing. I just wanted to show you guys where it was going to go. This section is beautiful. I want to try to get you to see that Aztec pattern that's on it. Love it. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, what's next? It looks like we have 2 trees of escape pods. And it looks like we have another section of windows. So again, we've got a full tree with the room lights that are off, and we've got half a tree with the room lights that are going to be on. And let's see what this is. It looks like we have screws. We've got a pair of backlit panels. I'm not sure if that's what's going to go onto that panel or not. And looks like we've got some DM screws. And we've got another light, like the other one that seemed to be going into the Facade Collector, but we'll see. This one is long. Let's see what else is, that's everything in that compartment. Okay, so for this compartment, there's a lot of Facade Collector stuff, and you can see it looks like a little panel that's got windows, and these room lights are all going to be off, and I'm thinking that that's going to go right there. Nice. Okay, so we've got the Facade Collector. You can see the sections that are going to go into it, just like that. And we have the clear that's going to go in like that. There, and that is that. I'll make sure I didn't miss any packet of screws or anything. And that's everything in packet number 53. Okay, and lastly, we have packet number 54. Let's go ahead and get that open. All right, let's start off with this section. Looks like there are quite a bit of, let's see, we got screws that need to come out. Okay, so the first section, we got a lot of escape pods. We got 4 trees. So we got 24 escape pods in this packet. And along with the escape pods in that little compartment, we have the CP screws. And next we've got, looks like one of the long wires, and we've got a single light. And looks like we have 2 of those. Yep, 2 of the same thing. And let's see, we got a packet of the FM screws. And looks like 2 back panels. You can see that it's probably where the impulse engines are going to go. But we'll see. I could be wrong, and I probably am. Not quite sure what this section is for, but we'll see. We got the tape. You guys remember to hold the escape pods in place. And looks like we got a packet of DM screws. And in the last compartment, let's see, we have more screws. These are AM screws. And it looks like we've got 1.5 trees of the dark windows. And we've got a full tree of the windows where the room lights are on. And let's see, am I missing anything? I think that's it. And that's it for packet number 4. And that, my friends, is everything that's included in shipment number 14. We've got packet 51, 52, 53, and 54. And I know this video took a while, but I wanted to show you absolutely everything that comes in the shipment. And my next video, we're going to put it all together. And that video will be up very soon. I thank you so much for watching, my fellow Star Trek fans, and I'll see you soon.